Hi, this is Aaron Myers of the Everyday Language Learner, and I want to look again today at the idea of planning. In my previous video, I talked about kind of thinking about planning with the big picture in mind. What's our goal, kind of the big goal of our language learning, and where are we at now, and how do we kind of formulate phases to get to that goal. Today I want to step down a level and really look at kind of the week-to-week and even the day-to-day planning that needs to happen in order to accomplish each of the smaller goals on the way to the big goal. So, I think language learners really face a number of problems when they think about stepping into the life of an independent language learner and planning for that success that they want to see. The first question that people often struggle with is, what do I want to learn? I talked about this a little bit in the first post, but I really like to think about two questions to help guide what you want to learn in that given day or week. And those questions are, first, what is the most important thing I need to accomplish in daily life that I cannot yet accomplish in the target language? Okay, so I'm focusing at first on kind of survival issues. I need to get water. How do I get water? I need to find a toilet. I need to get off on the bus. How do I do those things that I'm going to need to be able to do with the language? And so I need to learn those things. And then, then that'll grow into kind of the daily chores of life. How do I go to the bank to deposit and withdraw money? How do I set up a bank account? There's certain language expressions, for sure, words that we'll need to learn for each of these, as well as kind of social customs in engaging in these kind of language communication acts. And so those are the sorts of things that I want to be focusing on with the first question. What's the most important thing I need to accomplish in daily life that I cannot yet accomplish? That's going to be one part of what I want to do each week as part of my language learning plan. The second question is focusing more on building the core, the foundation of your knowledge of the language. And that question is, what are the core elements of the language that I want to be continually working on to master? So these sorts of things could be things like grammar structures, continuing to grow your just basic vocabulary, maybe focusing on mastering the 1,000 most common words in the language, common expressions, idiomatic expressions that are used, and then the grammatical structures and all of those things. Now, these can come out of our daily life, and I've written about this before, of how to discover what's the next thing that I should be learning. But a lot of times it can be using language programs or resources to help lead you into building that foundation. So, for example, one thing that I really found useful is the Teach Yourself Turkish series of books when I was learning Turkish. So those are sort of the two things that are going to drive what you're going to learn. The second problem language learners have then is how to learn those things. Okay, and this is a big one. I think a lot of times I see people, they say, I want to learn the language, so they sign up for a class, they buy Rosetta Stone, they get a book, and that's what they do. But that leaves a lot of gaps. It doesn't always meet those, Rosetta Stone doesn't focus on meeting your immediate needs. It's focused on building your foundation, of building your core understanding of the language. It's not going to help you find the bathroom, though. And so you need to create, through finding the right resources and activities, a more robust list of things that will help you answer the question, how am I going to learn this? And that is looking at the activities and resources. In the blog post that accompanies this video, there's a couple of links to a lot of ideas, and I would encourage you to really think about just making a big list, a master list of ideas and resources, so that when you're having trouble thinking about what should I do this week, you can go to that list and get some ideas. Now, in thinking about planning for your week and the day-to-day planning that you're going to do, I want to encourage everyone to get yourself a notebook that you can use as kind of your language lesson planner. Now, when I was learning Turkish, I just used a regular spiral bound notebook. And that's what I use. And with that notebook, the thing that you're going to want to do is, what I would do each week is just first of all write the week. Just, this is week 1 or the first week of January or the date. And then first of all, write your goals for that week. And the goals are going to be the answer to those 2 questions. So the immediate needs, what do I need to learn that I'm not yet able to accomplish in the language? And you're just going to write 2 or 3 of those things down. And then now you have your goal. This is what I want to learn. And then secondly, what are kind of the core elements that you want to learn? So maybe you think, I want to learn the progressive form of that they use in the grammar structures of the language this week. Maybe I want to learn another 100 words from the 100 most common words list. Maybe I want to learn 3 to 5 new social expressions. How do you say you're sorry to someone when someone has died? How do you greet someone for certain holidays? So you're going to create this list. So first you're going to put your goals of what you want to learn. Then what you're going to do is just kind of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 or 4 pages. Each day of the week you're going to give some space to, 5 to 10 lines. And now you're going to go to that list of activities and resources and answer the question, how am I going to learn these things? All right, so for your immediate needs, maybe you have a native speaking friend. That would be the best resource to go to say, hey, I need to go to the bank this week. I need to set up a bank account. Can we create some dialogue so that I can practice that? Can you kind of walk me through what that would look like, what new words I would need to learn, what I would say to the teller if I want to withdraw money or put money, deposit money. So some of those things, if you have a native speaker, you can use those things. If it's a grammar structure that you want to learn, maybe it's, I want to go through the Teach Yourself French chapter if you're learning French or whatever the language is, to get that. But I also want to write 10 practice sentences a day. So each day you're going to make a list of the activities that you want to try to do to accomplish these goals. Now, the great thing about this, and the reason why I think it's so important to write these things down in a notebook, first, we tend to be more effective. We tend to do the things when we intend to do something if we write them down. If I write a list of things that I want to do, I'm more likely to do them. Second, by writing it down, it gives us something to which we can be accountable to. As an independent language learner, accountability is a big challenge. And if I have this notebook with my goals in it and the activities that I want to do to accomplish those goals, now I have something to be accountable to. It stares at me from the page and says, you said you'd do this, With that accountability, I would make sure that as you accomplish those activities, that you go ahead and check them off. Maybe even make a note or 2. It went well, or man, this didn't work very well. Because the third really important, and I feel like the most important reason that you want to be writing out your plan each week is that by doing that, you create a way to evaluate what you're doing. Okay? This is a big question a lot of people have. I'm doing activity A to learn the language. How do I know if it's working or not? If you've got this notebook filled with everything you've done, and it just needs to be simple notes. It doesn't need to be wrong, written out, anything. Simple notes. If you have that, at the end of the month, for example, you can look back and say, I said I wanted to learn the progressive. Did I learn it? Am I using it? Am I able to use it? If you're not, you can go back and look at what you did and evaluate, why it didn't work. Maybe you just needed to practice more. Maybe you moved on too quickly. Okay? So it provides you a way to evaluate what you're doing, and it also provides you a way to learn about learning. And this is really exciting because as you do this process of planning, writing things down, and then looking back and reflecting on that, what you're going to find is that you begin to really fine-tune and refine how you learn languages. You're going to find what works. You're going to start to realize how long you need to practice something, how much repetition. you need to give yourself, how you need to work review into your day-to-day life. And so that to me is really the most important reason you want to be writing your plan down, starting with your goals of what you want to learn, followed by what you plan to do each day to accomplish those goals. It's a powerful tool to help you become more quickly a really good language learner. And that's what I want for all of you that come to the Everyday Language Learner, that you might become better language learners, that you'd be empowered and that you'd be encouraged so that you can succeed, that you can reach your goal. And if you're not planning, it's going to be tough to really have the growth in your knowledge and understanding and ability to use the language that you want to see. So, that's what I have for today. I'm going to come back with another post in the next few days about kind of how do I plan either kind of individual, like set aside study time or lesson time. If I'm working with like a language helper, how do I structure my time and with the activities in order to plan for success? So that's it. If this video has been helpful, I just want to encourage you and ask you if you'd take a moment to share it with your friends to help them move forward on the language learning journey. So, thanks so much for watching and blessings on your language learning journey. Take care.